Costume Morgue, Christie Hancock, TA 430, Spring 2012. Christie, good work and nice detail. A, by Christie Hancock. Modern India, Ancient Egypt, Indigenous Australia, Modern Philippines, Traditional Chinese. Costume Morgue, Table of Contents. It's the binder for theater arts. Modern India, a bride and groom in traditional Punjabi clothing. I chose this picture because the clothing is elaborate and neat, the colors are good. Modern India. The Indian baby is wearing kohl eyeliner on his eyes for protection against evil eye. This is a traditional belief. I chose this picture because the camera zoomed in on the face and shows the position of the liner. Modern India. This is a Hindu woman wearing a bindi, which symbolizes the third eye and is believed to protect oneself against demons. I chose this picture because the decoration is more detailed than just a dot. The bindi isn't only worn by Hindus, and women all over Southeast Asia wear it. Some men will wear bindis as well. Modern India. I chose this picture because you don't usually see this headdress in such elaborate decor in the U.S. This man is wearing a Sikh turban. Covering one's hair was a policy made by the 10th Guru of the Sikhs, and both men and women can wear this as a result. Sikh form 2% of India's population. They wear turban art to take care of the hair, promote equality, and preserve the Sikh identity. I chose this picture because it's beautiful. This woman is wearing bangles and her hand and arm are fully decorated in henna, which is a dye made from the henna plant. People will decorate themselves with henna in India for special occasions like weddings. During a wedding, the bride will wear red and white bangles. Modern India. I chose this picture because it's an unusual accessory in our culture. Women are generally bought a nose ring from their husband as a gift for security. If the husband and wife were to split, she could sell his gift for money. Modern India. I chose this picture because the woman was in an instructional guide on how to wear a hijab. Hijab is worn by Muslim women for modesty and privacy. Generally, hair is not allowed to show. Roughly 13% of India practices Islam. Modern India. Ancient Egypt. These kind of shoes were worn by the general population. The sole was made out of papyrus. These were uniformly pointed. I chose this picture because it's authentic. Ancient Egypt. I chose this picture because it's a good rendition of the actual Egyptian makeup during the Old Testament. Egyptians decorated their eyes with kohl and green or blue eyeshadow made from minerals and painted their lips with henna. Ancient Egypt. Sandals patterned after King Tut's orthopedic ones. I chose this picture because I like the style. Ancient Egypt. Slippers are made from rushes which grew by the rivers. I chose this because the shoes are authentic. Ancient Egypt. I like this photo because the clothing is perfection. The woman is dressing as a recreation of what a rich woman looked like back in ancient times. Usually people dressed in linen because the fabric was perfect for mild winters and hot summers. Ancient Egypt. I chose this picture because it is a vivid description of Pharaoh's clothing. It's from a history book. Ancient Egypt. Indigenous Australia. The man is playing the didgeridoo, a tribal instrument. Note the body paint. I chose this because the picture is beautiful. Indigenous Australia. This is a tribal mask that was worn by tribesmen of the Torres Strait. I chose this because I love cultural objects. It is currently in the Museum of Oceania, Indigenous Australia. These tribesmen are dancing on stage. They are wearing loincloths. I chose this picture because it shows their cultural roots are in modern day Indigenous Australia. Aboriginal man was very interesting nose piercing. Above his forehead he wears a headpiece that has shells and feathers. I chose this photo because it looks unique. The man performs a skull ceremony at Liverpool Museum, Indigenous Australia. This woman does not wear a shirt. She's about to perform a tribal dance for a group. She sports a headdress and scarf. I chose this picture because it's one of the only ones that didn't feature men, Indigenous Australia. Modern Philippines. This is not from a movie. This is a woman in a traditional dress from her tribe, probably for a performance. She is wearing a jacket over her attire, so it is good to say she is modernized and doesn't live in the forest. I picked this photo because my grandmother wears something similar. Modern Philippines. This is from a movie that features Filipinos living in a tribe. I picked this photo because the characters are very handsome and are beautiful. The Aboriginals of the Philippines were called Negritos by explorers because the Spanish thought them to be black. Modern Philippines. The actor is wearing makeup even though he is male. I picked this picture due to aesthetics. Modern Philippines. This woman is wearing a malong, a bolt of cloth fashioned in southern Mindanao. I chose this picture because my mom owns one like this. Modern Philippines. This is President Bush wearing a barong Tagalog and President Arroyo wearing a Filipina dress. I chose this picture because they look good. Modern Philippines. Traditional Chinese. I picked this picture because it shows an unconventional hairstyle that people would wear in the U.S. This is worn by a lot of little girls and teenagers at Chinese formal events. Long robes were very common among royalty. Hairpins are still used among the general public. Shoes are often made from brocade. I chose this picture because of the design. This is a picture of a Chinese diplomat and President Bush in a traditional attire. Their shirts have Mandarin collars. I chose this because it bore similarity to the picture of the royal. When getting married, the bride wears a headdress like this. I chose the picture because the hat is pretty. This is all traditional Chinese.